Hey, what's going on, fellow rock and rollers? Peace and love, a thumbs up and A-OK, a cowabunga, and rock and roll. I guess what we got for you today, we're going to learn about public domain. What is the public domain? It seems like it could be this sort of ethereal space floating in the air somewhere, right? Public domain, what does it mean? Well, it's intellectual property. Like this pen right here is my physical property, or these glasses or hat or shirts, these are my physical property. Intellectual property is property of ideas, the creation of ideas. And when we talk about public domain as it pertains to songwriting and music, it's an important place to know about. So here's the gist of it. Ready? What is public domain? It's basically 70 years after the death of the person who wrote the composition or song or lyric is when a song is considered in this public domain space. If the song was written and registered after 1978. Now, I'm not sure why. That was the year it was created. That's probably why they have it there, is it was created in 1978, this law. And then before then, if you wrote a song before 1978 and it was registered and copyrighted, it's good for 95 years, that copyright. And so copyright is very important. It means it's saying like, I, Jim Gavin from Key of Awesome Music, wrote this song on this date. And if anyone tries to claim it as their own, they can't, because it's already been registered or copyrighted. I register my works with BMI, the Performing Rights Organization, as a songwriter and a publisher with Key of Awesome Music. And you could also send it into the Copyright Office, which is copyright.gov through the IRS. And you can say that I wrote this song on this specific date, and if anyone says otherwise, they are lying. And then you could bring them to court and sue them for trying to steal your idea, just like you could sue someone for trying to steal your shirt off your back, that kind of thing. And no one's allowed to take that song and do their own version of it or put it up for sale, expecting to get paid for it without crediting the original writer or artist. If they say that they wrote this song and they actually didn't, you could also potentially pay a license fee to someone to say, look, I'd like to really use this song on my album. I'd like to do my own version of it. Can I pay you this amount, an agreed upon amount between you and the person who originally wrote it? And then if they say yes, great, then you can use that song and use it for sale on your end, and probably end up getting them royalties in the process of you getting royalties. So you both win. It's a win-win. But it all depends on the artist that you're reaching out to. They might say no. And if they say no, you can't use that song, right? Unless that person dies and it's good for 70 years after their death, their copyright. Or if the song was written after 1978, it was written before 1978, you can't ask them really if they're not alive anymore, but you'd have to ask their family, right? Or someone who takes care of their estate. That's the important thing. All right, so once the song hits public domain status, you could use it for whatever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to ask permission or give credit or pay a license fee, but you have to really check this out. And so there's places that you can check this out online. I think it's pdinfo.com, where it's public domain info, those songs in a public domain. But just for the sake of argument here, we are going to be talking about the songs that are going public domain in 2025, since this is what year it is. So the songs that are going public domain this year are William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury, Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms, Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, John Steinbeck's Cup of Gold, Blackmail, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, The Black Watch, directed by John Ford, Dynamite, directed by Cecil D. DeMille, Singing in the Rain, which is a cool song. So very, very nice. It's by Arthur Freed, music by Ignacio Herb Brown, E.C. Cigar from Popeye, and Hergé or Tintin as well. And that's from Les Adventures de Tintin from the magazine Le Petit Vintignam. All right, so some of these are movies, right? Some of these are books, and some of these are song lyrics. So this works in all forms of intellectual property. But for the sake of argument here, while we're here at Key of Awesome Music, we're talking strictly about music. But yes, this works in movies, like would be film, books, on potentially even online articles at this point. And depending on the situation, and songs. So public domain, really, really cool. It's important to know about as a singer-songwriter. Learn it, live it, and love it. What is the public domain? It's a great space, but we have to make sure we're aware of it. Otherwise, you might be stepping on someone else's toes and taking ownership of a song that's really not yours. And that's not right, right? It's not good to steal from anybody. Their clothing, their physical property. It's also not good to steal intellectual property. So that's what public domain sort of lets us know. Okay, this intellectual property, this creation of an idea, of a movie, a book, a song, or anything in that nature is now available for you to use for whatever you want. So that's what public domain is. Peace and love and thumbs up at AOK at Cowabunga and rock and roll. And we'll see you next time for who knows what. Bye-bye.